Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we're going to make an arrangement for a birthday, and they asked that we do it kind of upright and tall, but flowers all the way around. I'm working with a really pretty container that we got. We often have people drop off containers that they're no longer using, so this happens to be one of those recycled containers that we got dropped off here at the shop, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful and a really nice gift for a birthday. I've added fresh water, a little bit of flower food. I'm going to start out, I'm going to use my handy dandy floral knife that is my favorite. It's a folding floral knife that I got off of Amazon, but I absolutely love it. I'm going to start out with some leather leaf foliage. So I'm going to take that greenery and I'm going to cut that stem at an angle. And I'm going to just tuck that right down into my vase. And I'm going to add foliage all the way around. Now the mouth of this container is pretty wide. It's a pretty large mouth. So often you may find yourself needing to maybe put a grid on this vase with a little bit of floral tape. I think that this foliage is going to be fine. It's going to do just that. But just in case, sometimes you might want to add a grid. I'm going to take some pittosporum. This is a variegated pittosporum. I'm going to strip off the foliage on the bottom of that stem, and I'm going to take some snips and cut that stem. Now the reason I like to use snips when cutting foliage is this is a very woody stem, so it's pretty hard, and it's hard to cut with your floral knife. So I'm just using my snips to cut that greenery. All right, there's our foliage, and I have a little extra just in case. But there's our greenery all the way around. Next, we're going to come in with our line flower. So the line flower I chose today was delphinium. So this is a white delphinium. Most of the time when you think of delphinium, you think of the blue variety. This is white. It comes in white and pinks. Maybe not pinks. I think larkspur is pink. Whites, lavenders, blues, different shades of blue and lavender. But we're going to start out with our line flower. So we're going to use this white delphinium. I'm going to cut that stem, and I like to start with my tallest stem first. So I just try to take one stem and I put the height first, and then I take a second stem and I stagger it down just a little bit so you can see it's two different levels, right? And then I'm going to take a third stem and come on the opposite side. Now, when using line flower, I like to use threes. And the reason is odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. So you'll find that you use odd numbers more often than you use even numbers. But I like to use three also because if you only have two lines sticking up, it looks like a bug's antenna. And I never wanted my arrangement to look like a bug. So there's my three stems of delphinium. Next I'm going to come in with, let's see, I have got some alstroemeria lilies. So we're going to come in with some creamy, it has a hint of yellow, which I really like, or a little bit of a hint of ivory color. And I'm using a lot of yellow, so I thought I would use these pretty white alstros. I'm going to strip off any foliage that doesn't look pretty. I'm going to cut that stem, and I'm just going to kind of nestle it right down into this foliage. I always strip the bottom leaves off because they might fall below that water line, so I go ahead and strip those off. And any of the leaves that are broken or what have you, they can come right off. I do like to leave the foliage on though, you know, if it looks nice, because it just helps fill up the arrangement with a little bit of foliage. All right, so there's our alstros. Now, alstroemeria lilies come in tons of color. You are never short a color with an alstro. It has pinks and yellows, oranges, reds, lots of pretty colors. Next, we're going to come in with some button daisies. So these are chrysanthemums. It's in the chrysanthemum family. And so these are called buttons. Now, I love a button. I just think they're happy, fun little flowers. I remember I had an employee once that hated a button, and I never could understand why anybody would hate a button. I'm going to take that stem, cut it, and tuck it right in. I like to leave a little height with those buttons. Now, buttons also come in lots of colors. They come in like a bronze, a yellow, a green, a white. I love the little green ones, and I certainly love the yellow. They're just so happy. Just a happy little flower. Now you can see as I spin this arrangement, I am making sure that flowers are all the way around in the arrangement. And if some of your flowers get kind of out of place, you can always rearrange those and get them back where they need to be. Next, we're going to come in with a little solidago aster. So I have some pretty yellow solidago. Solidago is a very inexpensive filler flower, and we use it a lot. It's very long lasting. But I'm just going to take my solidago and tuck it here and there throughout the arrangement. Next, I'm going to come in with a few sunflowers. So I have happy yellow sunflowers. I wanted to show you the difference so this is the medium. I feel like this arrangement's in my face, sorry. This is the medium size, and then this is the small. Look at the difference in the two sizes. I prefer, if I'm going to use suns, I really like the medium the best. Now this is a really good sized small, but I have ordered the small where they came in the size of a silver dollar. So they were really tiny. And so I prefer them to have a little size. This is a beautiful small, but I often get the medium. Now the large for me is too large. I feel like it overtakes an arrangement, but I'm going to take my sunflowers. I'm going to kind of figure out exactly where I want that to sit in that arrangement. I like to hold it over to the side of the table and kind of figure out where I need to cut it so it's not too tall or too short. I always suggest to cut less off than you think you should of the stem, because you can always cut more off the stem, but you can't add to it. So always remember to cut less. And it comes with practice. You'll get to where you can eyeball it and know exactly where to cut it. All right, and I'm going to put a couple of these smaller stems kind of up top. Now, when I use sunflowers such as these, or a large vase flower, we would consider this a vase flower or a focal flower. I like for the larger stem or the larger head to be lower and the smaller head to be higher. And so the reason is because with visual weight, the larger stem looks heavier than the smaller stem. Now they probably weigh the exact same, but because visually he looks heavier, I always put him lower than I do a smaller bloom. And it's the same with color. You always want to think about color and color having weight, which sounds so silly, I know, but it does. Color has weight. A darker color is going to be heavier than a lighter color visually. All right, so there's our happy sunflowers. One more stem. I'm going to put again. He's the smallest, so I'm going to put him in the top. All right, to finish this arrangement, I'm going to add just a couple stems of these Asiatic lilies. So Asiatic lilies are often a brighter colored lily. There are two different varieties that we use here at our shop. We use Asiatic and Oriental. Oriental is a larger bloom and very fragrant. Asiatic is a smaller bloom, often much brighter colors, oranges and yellows and pinks and even a red tone. So I'm going to use these Asiatics. Here at our shop, our Asiatics are a less expensive bloom, but a brighter color. And so I really like Asiatics in the summertime because they're bright, fun colors. Even in the fall, I like the oranges and I want you to always be aware of the stamens that are in the lily. So the stamen is what opens up to cause the pollen. And the pollen, when it opens, gets really yellow and all over your flowers and all over you and or your clothes, all the things. Always try to pull those out when you see them, when you see your lily open up, so that it doesn't stain everything. It'll just ruin a white lily, and it will certainly stain your clothes. So always try to remove those. All right, and there is our all the way around yellow and white arrangement in this beautiful blue container, blue vase. I think it really turned out lovely. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at our shop, you can always ask. We're so happy to answer any questions you might have. You can drop that right here in the comments or send me an email over on our email at flowersbythebunch@yahoo. We're so happy to answer some questions. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. It makes people see us much better if we get interaction on these videos. So we would love your input. We'd love if you enjoyed it. We'd love you to let us know. Do me a favor, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button right down below. And if you'll hit that little bell, it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon.